Hi everyone, welcome to a short little chair yoga session. So hopefully this is going to be something that all of us can do, either the whole practice or most of the practice. Just work towards what you're comfortable with in your body, and just remember it's just yoga, relax into it, don't forget to breathe, and we'll get started. So the first thing we need to do is come forward into your chair so that the top of your legs is off the back of the chair, and you press your feet firmly into the ground. Your knees are hip distance apart and your ankles are directly underneath your feet. Toes are facing forward. And begin to just lift the body up. So start to feel the activation into your thighs here, and bring your shoulders over your hips, and notice that the belly just draws in slightly as you turn the core muscles on. Just take a couple of moments here in quiet, maybe close down the eyes, take a few breaths here, in and out through the nose. Long and slow and deep breaths. On your next inhale, take a breath in. Exhale, let's bring the chin over towards the left. So just turn the neck towards, your right shoulder, Coming back through center. Take a breath in. Exhale to the left. Moving back through center. Take a breath in. Exhale, let's just bring that right ear down towards the right shoulder. Feel the stretch all the way down the left side of the neck. Back through center, take a breath. And exhale, drop the left ear to the left shoulder. Inhale, we're going to lift our arms up, overhead to touch. And exhale, come down through the heart. Again, inhale, lift. And exhale through the heart. Take the left hand to the outside of the right knee, holding onto the knee, and the right hand behind. Take a breath in, lift up. And exhale, twist, looking over your right shoulder here. So press the feet into the ground. Come back through center, arms can come up, and we take it to the other side. So right hand onto the outside of the left knee, take a breath in, lift up, exhale, twist across, looking over the left shoulder. Bring the hands back to the knees. We're going to bring our right hand out to the side, take a breath, and exhale, just bring it across over towards the left. Feel the stretch all the way down the right side of the body. Move back to center. The other side. Left arm up. Keep the left hip grounded as you reach through the left big finger there. Come back to center. Just going to roll the shoulders a few times, up, back, and around. Keep pressing the feet into the ground. And the other way. Bringing the hands to the knees here. Press the feet into the ground. On your inhale, we're just going to shine the chest forward. So leaning forward, bring the shoulders back. And then exhale, round everything. Bring your chin to your chest as you round your spine. Inhale to come forward. And exhale to round. One more, let's get all that space into the spine. Inhale, coming forward. And then exhale, rounding back. Coming back to stillness. To lift your right foot off the ground. Grab hold of the back of the right thigh with clasped hands. And we're just going to take some circles with your right ankle here. In one direction and then in the other. And then I'm going to just point and flex the toe. Take an inhale, let's bring that knee to the chest. And then exhale, kick that right foot forward. Inhale, knee to chest. Exhale, forward. Feel the thigh turning on. One more, knee to chest. Exhale, bring that right foot forward and then just lower the right heel to the ground. Clasp your hands onto your left thigh, take a breath in and exhale. Just lean forward, starting to feel the stretch through your right hamstring here. You can micro bend that right leg, that's fine. Coming back up, now either bringing your foot across your left ankle, or if you have the range and it's okay for your hips, bring that right foot on top of the left thigh here, curl the toes back, take a breath in, and exhale, we come forward again. Feeling the sensation this time in your right outer hip. And then coming back, let go. We'll just move to the other side straight away. So grabbing hold of that left thigh, starting to take some circles with the ankle in one direction, then the other. Pointing and flexing the toes. Take a breath in. We're going to lift the left knee to the chest and exhale, kick that left foot forward. Inhale to lift as high as you can, pressing into your right foot here for stability. Exhale, left foot forward. One more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, coming forward. And then just let that left foot go. Can be bent or straight. Clasp the hands, place them onto the right thigh here. Take a breath. Exhale, come forward. Just a couple of breaths here. This side might feel totally different from the other. And then lifting back up. Let's bring that left foot either across the ankle. We can come into the hip stretch like this. Or if you have the range and it's okay for your hip, let's bring that left ankle on top of the right thigh. Clasp the hands again and then just lean forward or grab hold of the knee. Feel it through that outer hip. And then coming back, place both feet back on the ground. Hands lightly on top of the thighs again. And we're just going to close down the eyes for a few breaths. The crown of the head lifts to the sky. Just gentle activation. Tuck the chin in slightly here. Either close the eyes or lower the gaze. Just a few moments of stillness to finish. Thank you everyone. Be well, be safe. Shabbat Shalom.
Hi and welcome to my kitchen. I hope that you all are keeping well and safe. Today I'm going to be making a tuna lasagna. It's just a nice, simple, easy, delicious meal that anyone can make just while everyone's at home, and also with Shabbat coming up, it's probably a good menu idea to keep in mind. So the recipe's got three main components. It's got the lasagna, the tuna mix, and a white sauce. I'm going to use instant lasagna, which I hope you can all get in the shops at the moment. If you don't use this, you can easily do it with any sort of pasta. The beauty of using the lasagna sheets is that you don't have to cook them, you can just put them in raw. But if you're going to be using pasta, then you need to obviously boil up the pasta, but either way works fine and both will be delicious. For the tuna layer, I'm going to be using 2 tins of tuna, a tin of tomato soup, which I bought at Parsha Kingdom, and some mushrooms, which I'm going to fry up, parsley, maybe a little bit of oregano, I'll see how I go later, and then I'm going to chop up 2 brown onions and fry it with some crushed garlic. The third component is a white sauce, which I'm going to make myself. And the white sauce, let's just move that out of the way. The white sauce, I need 4 teaspoons of, which I put in there, sorry, 4 tablespoons of butter or margarine. I just use margarine, it's fine, you can use either. 4 tablespoons of flour, 1 3/4 cups of milk, and 250 grams of cheese, which I'm going to grate and then add in. Okay, so I've got my white sauce going. I'm just melting the margarine. There's 4 tablespoons. I'm going to add in 4 tablespoons of flour to thicken it up. And then I'm going to stir that all in together. Once it's all combined, I'm going to add in 1 3/4 cups of milk and keep stirring it so that it won't be lumpy. I'm just going to take that off and stir my milk in. Okay, so here comes my milk. 1 3/4 cups. Keep mixing it to take out all the lumps. And once that's mixed, I'm going to throw in my 250 grams of grated cheese and a little bit of salt and pepper, and just keep stirring it till it's nice and thick. So I'll be back on once my white sauce is ready. Right, so there's my white sauce done. Pretty happy with that. Nice and smooth and velvety and creamy. In the meantime, while that was being done, I chopped up my onions. So I'm just frying that up with the garlic. 2 cloves of garlic, and it was 2 chopped onions. When it's a little bit more glassy and done, I'm going to add in some mushrooms that I sliced up, and just give that a nice cook, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back. I've got my white sauce ready. There is my onions and garlic and mushrooms all fried up, and I've got my tuna and tomato soup just mixed in together. So I'm going to add the fried vegetables into the tuna mix and give that a nice mix. And I'm going to add some dried parsley into that, just a nice sprinkle. And I'll go with a little bit of pepper, and I think I'll add some oregano. It should be good. Give it some nice flavour. I like to use fresh ground black pepper. Probably doesn't need too much salt with the tomatoes. Do some oregano, just a bit of a sprinkle, not measuring that. And it smells good, looks good. Add some more parsley. Again, not measuring, just giving a bit of a throw. Right, and then what I've done is I've got, I put my lasagna. So I'm going to layer it all. So I've got my lasagna sheets in there already, and then I'm going to do a layer of the tomato mix and then a layer of the white sauce. And I'm going to keep layering it until it's finished. So I'll be back once it's done. Okay, so I've finished layering mine. I've got 3 layers, so lasagna sheet, tuna mixture, white sauce, and I got that 3 times. That's what it looks like at the moment. I'm going to top it with some more grated cheese, and then I'm going to bake it at 180 for probably about 25-30 minutes or so. And then we'll be ready to eat. So that's going to go in the oven, and I will show you the finished product. So my oven timer has just gone off, and I've taken the lasagna out, and that's what it looks like. So we're going to be having that with a nice green salad and a vinaigrette dressing, and I think that I deserve that as well. So I hope you make this very yummy and very easy lasagna. Enjoy. Bye.
This Shabbat, we finish the 3rd book of the Torah, Vayikra. Looking back, we can see that each book has its own theme. Genesis revolves around families, one of which is the first Jewish family. Exodus takes us through the transformation of this family into the Jewish nation. Vayikra establishes the Jewish nation's mission in this world to be a holy nation and a light unto the nations, and lays down a multitude of laws between Hashem and man that sets our pathway to achieve this new status. One of the laws we read about in this week's Parsha, Behar, is that of Yovel, the Jubilee year, proclaimed every 50th year on Yom Kippur, at which time all Jewish slaves were freed and land reverted to the original owners. But why was the Jubilee year proclaimed on Yom Kippur? One idea is that Yom Kippur is about restitution of the soul. The ultimate goal is seeking atonement to bring about individual moral rebirth with all its healing and restorative effects. The Jubilee year is about restitution of the physical and resetting the nation's social identity. All Jewish slaves, regardless of why and how long they were a slave, were now free to return and re-establish their family and community life. Those who had to sell their land had it returned and were able to rebuild their livelihood. For both, this was a fresh start, in a way hitting the reset button. Imagine the appreciation and gratitude those returning to their families and their land had of their newfound sense of normality, livelihood, and freedom of movement. Now, fast forward to 2020, as we start to come out of lockdown and we return to some sense of our normality. May we remember the lessons we have learned in isolation, that whilst technology is a wonderful thing, it really can't match meeting up face to face with the extended family or the community, the blessings of livelihood and the freedom of movement. May we all hold on to this newfound appreciation and gratitude for as long as possible and internalize the lessons learned, so that it influences us to perhaps become better versions of ourselves coming out of isolation than we were when we went into it. Shabbat Shalom.
The yard sites for the upcoming week, Ron Bauer for his father, Ron Fulop for his mother, and Mandy Caselta for her sister, who wish you all long life. The birthdays in the upcoming week are Oded Eckstein, Jonathan Friedlander, Baruch Geselter, Ella Klein, and Sharissa Omsky. We wish you all a happy Jewish birthday. We are currently in the middle of the Sephirah, the days that we count between Pesach and Shavuot. Now it's interesting that the Torah instructs us to count 49 days, and separately it says also we need to count 7 weeks. And that's why the Talmud says that we need to count both the days and the weeks, which means, for example, when we reach day 7, we say today is 7 days which is 1 week to the Omer. When you reach the 8th day, we say today is 8 days, which is 1 week and 1 day to the Omer. This is very puzzling. Why is it important to mention the weeks? Just mention the days. What significance is there, and what are you adding when you also mention the weeks? We know that Pesach, we became free. We became a free nation, but we didn't have any identity. That's why we started counting towards Shavuot. On Shavuot, that's when we received our Jewish identity. We made a covenant with God. We were given the Torah as our guide and blueprint for life. The Torah became our identity. Therefore, in the countdown to Shavuot, we also we synchronize between the days and the weeks, based on the following explanation. The difference between a day and a week is, a day, 24 hours, is a natural consequence of the cycle of time. Sunrise, sunset, adds up to 24 hours. However, a week, 7 days, doesn't follow any natural system. Why is a week 7 days? Why can't it be 6 days or 8 days? Actually, at the French Revolution calendar, as well as the Soviet calendar, they changed the week from 5 to 6 days, but it only lasted little more than a decade. It's universal today that a week is 7 days. But why? It doesn't follow any natural cycle, like a day, which is 24 hours, sunrise and sunset. Also, a month, we know, is 29 and a half days, a lunar cycle. The solar cycle of a year is 365 days. It follows a natural system. But 7 days to make a week doesn't follow any natural system. But for us Jews, it's very clear. It is directly inspired by the Torah. The Torah says 6 days I created the world, and the 7th day is Shabbat to God. So we could say that a week is not a natural cycle, but inspired by a divine cycle. So the day follows. So we can perceive ourselves and our people in 2 ways. We can perceive ourselves as a day nation. Our peoplehood is a people in natural terms, a nation like any other nation, subjected to the ordinary laws and patterns of nature. Nations rise and fall. We're just part of the natural family of nations, and therefore to ensure our survival, we need to make sure that nature is on our side. We have to be firmly etched and embedded in the modern world, embracing all its opportunities and making sure we have a good standing amongst all the nations around us to ensure our survival and existence and success. However, we can perceive ourselves as a weak, W-E-A-K nation, which then we perceive ourselves as orbiting in a divine cycle of time. The identity of our people is defined by a divine blueprint. The DNA of our people is the relationship we have with God and the destiny that God has planned for us. So therefore, when we count from Pesach to Shavuot, from peoplehood to identity, we count both the days and the weeks. True, we need to count the days. We live in a natural world. Thank God we have a homeland, we have a culture, we have a language, we have an army. We have alliances with many other nations. But we also count the weeks, because at the core, we are weak people. What is the ultimate definition of our peoplehood? That we are Am Hashem, a people of God, chosen by the Creator to be the ambassadors of holiness to the world. We should always remember that the day is part of the week, but the week is not part of the day. We must always see our experience as a nation as part of the week in the larger identity of God's plan for us. Have a wonderful Shabbos.